Hello, Warren Tech North. This is Miss Coates, and this is a final PWR workshop for the year. Today we're going to go over mock interview prep, basically. So on April 21st, forensic science, business administration, sports medicine, and the half of nurse aid will be doing mock interviews. And on the 22nd, criminal justice, medical assisting, and the other half of nurse aid will. And audio production, just check with your instructor on the day that you are. Historically, we actually would have people, adults from your industry, come to Warren Tech North, and you would do a face-to-face interview. This year will be a little different. You will be here on campus, and you will check in at the main office with Miss Yankee, and I'll talk to you about that a little bit later. And then you will go into a room with a laptop, and your interviewer that will be matched with your pathway will be on Zoom. Okay, so today I'm going to kind of go over some face-to-face interviewing techniques and then also some Zoom techniques. I do think there will be a lot more Zoom interviews in the future, so it's just good that you're prepared for both. Okay, so I want to start with this cute little video. We're going to have some fun videos in here and then just kind of enjoy and relax and enjoy this session.
Amy, it says you are trained in technology. That's very good. Are you adept at Excel?
No.
PowerPoint?
No.
Publisher?
Not really.
Exactly in what area of technology are you proficient?
Snapchat, Pinterest, Instagram, Vine, Twitter. You know, the big ones.
I'm surprised you didn't say Facebook.
That's for old people, like my parents. That's funny.
Well, Amy, when you're working for me, you have to have those kind of research skills because I'll send you things for you to comb through and get the answers and send them to me. So for that, you got to be really good at technology.
For stuff like that, no problem. I'll just ask Siri.
You'll just ask Siri?
You know, Siri, tell me this, Siri, find me that. We're all good at getting you the answers.
Tell Siri I want you ready to go at 8 sharp each and every morning.
I don't understand.
What don't you understand?
What you just said.
You don't understand be ready to go?
No. You said 8, right?
Yes.
8 like in the morning 8?
Yes, in the morning.
Yeah. That kind of doesn't work for me. Who gets up at 8?
I do.
I Skype with my French boyfriend in Paris until like 3 in the morning. I don't even get to Starbucks until like 10, where I order my grande chai tea latte, 3 pumps, skim milk, light water, 2% foam, extra hot, but not too hot. So if it's okay, I work best in the morning at 10:45.
Wow. Amy, I don't think we're going to be a good fit.
Why are you so negative? I can sense your hostilities, and right now I am not feeling very safe. I've been here for over 5 minutes, and the only nice thing you have said to me was nice resume, which I typed all night for this meeting with you. You've given me no guidance, no validation, no encouragement, no supervision. Is there an HR director somewhere?
HR director?
Yes, I need to speak to someone. I may have to take off today as a mental health day.
Take the day off. Amy, look at me. You don't work here.
Are you firing me?
Okay, yes.
Okay, so as you can see, lots of errors in that interview. So we're going to talk to you today about what not to do as you're doing your mock interview. Okay, so again, here at Warren Tech North, you guys are learning your technical skills within your program. Your teachers are really working awesome on that. And your academic skills, almost all the programs here, you're getting your academic credit, and then your employability skills. And that's where you've been doing these PWR workshops throughout the year. You guys, your resumes are looking great. I will clean them up if you want to share them with me on Google. I'm Danae Coates, and then the Jeffco schools.us, but I'd be happy to clean that up if you want me to check that over. You will, if you have your resume, you will share that with your interviewer via Zoom when you're in that breakout room with that person, so they can just look at your resume and give you some tips as well. Okay, so we will give you an interview time. Like I said, your resume, you'll have it just, in your Google, if you can have that. Definitely for Zoom, dress business smart. We'll talk a little bit about that, definitely from the top up. And then we'll have you check in at the main office with Miss Yankee. So let's say your interview time is at 9:30, it's not very far. You're just going to be here in the building. Then you would want to, check in with Miss Yankee at like 9:25, okay, just to kind of practice that. And the interviews really should be about 10 minutes and then 5 minutes of feedback, so about 15 minutes total, okay? And hopefully they'll be pretty smooth here with the technology and everything. This is the first time we're doing that, so hopefully that'll work. So in real life, if you do face-to-face and if you're actually on Zoom, just make sure you're on time, especially if you're driving around downtown Denver or wherever your professional interview may be in the future. Just get there early. If you get really anxious about interviews, even do a drive early. Do it during the time where there might be traffic. Figure out where to park. Make sure you have some change or a credit card to pay for parking. Okay, you don't want anything to get you upset, or you're already going to be nervous. So if that would help alleviate stresses by not worrying about the drive to an interview, great. If it is Zoom, we'll go over some of these tips here in a minute, but just make sure your computer is charged, everything is ready to go. Okay, obviously professional dress, we'll talk about that here in a minute. Cell phone actually turned all the way off. I know you guys know some of the phones, if you do it on silent, they still can make a weird noise. You just don't want anything to distract the interviewer or the interview committee away from you, okay? Make sure you smile. That'll ease your nervousness a little bit. If you need to chew gum before the interview, that's fine if you want that fresh, minty breath, but just make sure, please, you spit that gum out, okay? Definitely even on the Zoom. We will check you guys in the office if you have gum, but just do not. That's, again, a huge distraction away from you and what you're saying to the interviewer. Just make good eye contact. Even if you're nervous, just make great eye contact. This will be tough, obviously, with the Zoom, but in face-to-face, do that firm handshake. We would, back when we used to have these workshops face-to-face, we would practice. But again, even wave, make great eye contact on the Zoom. Just have a good attitude. You know you're nervous, but just kind of fake it till you make it. Posture, again, just sit up really straight, have that head up, shoulders back, and just show enthusiasm, even though, again, you may not want to be doing these. Just show enthusiasm to that interviewer, okay? And then thank the interviewer at the end that they gave time to do that, to interview you, okay? Again, for Zoom, we will have the computers in the room. We'll have them charged. We'll kind of make the lighting as best as we possibly can. But just a couple tricks if you were doing this from home, just make sure that mute button is on. I'm going to show you here a funny bloopers Zoom video, but again, please make sure the mute's on. Make sure that camera looks good. You've maybe have seen some bloopers through this COVID time of their faces really dark in the shadows because their light's not good. Want to make sure that computer's plugged in, and then just if you are at home, make sure you have no distractions like people in the background. Make sure maybe you're not in your bedroom with posters and things in the back. Make sure you just have a clean background. And then, if you can do silence your notifications and your pop-ups. Again, you don't want any distractions. You want that interviewer to be completely focused on you and what you're talking about. Okay. For Zoom, you guys look into the camera. Even if you're kind of nervous, just still look right at that speaker. Choose a professional background. We probably won't do backgrounds like the ones that you can pick off the computer. We'll just make sure they look good in our rooms. But if you have your own background, that's fine. We'll make sure that the room is lit up nice. They're going to be quiet. You're going to be in a room with the door closed. Again, I would not even bring your phone to the Zoom interview here. Just keep it in your class. What Most of these things are just for when you're at home. And again, please dress as nicely as you can, depending on your program. Okay, so audio production, you're going to maybe dress a little bit more casual because that's the protocol for that industry. Whereas criminal justice, you are going to be dressed as professional as you can just because that's the protocol for that industry. Okay. We'll make sure the screen is nice and clean and clear, and we will be sanitizing the computers after every interview. Okay. I did want to show you guys this bloopers. For Zoom interviews, which I think was pretty funny. So just enjoy this one.
It's got lots of good candidates. Let's dive right in. Hey, nice to meet you. How you doing? Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello? Guess not.
Jen, are you ready to go to the beach yet?
As soon as this stupid interview's over, it should be over soon. Unmute.
I think you might have actually just muted yourself right there.
A little about myself. Really driven.
Hey, sorry, Tim. I think you might be having some webcam issues. Kind of looks like you're whistling. Now it seems like you're going backwards. That's the first time I've seen that. Sounds like you're speaking in tongues and everything's gone really dark.
I like to think of myself as a passionate.
Never mind. So, Jen, why do you want to work for this company?
I would be thrilled to work with you. Hey, no, dinner time's not right now. I need to do this interview so I can pay for your food.
Aw, so cute.
Fast-food companies.
Looks like Kitty's getting on the keyboard.
Just so perfect.
I think maybe your cat wanted to watch bird videos.
The most important thing about culture to me is work-life balance because I love my kids. My kids are great. I spend time with them. Mommy's having quiet time right now. Like I said, I love my kids. My kids are great.
One thing that's super important to me is staying super focused.
Totally.
Hey, I'm putting bananas in the smoothies today.
No matter what, staying laser focused. No matter what distractions come, it all just fades away.
Okay, all done. Good luck on your interviews.
So, Tim, what would you say is your biggest strength?
People say that I'm too organized at times, and I can see where they get it. I mean, I consider myself a neat freak.
For sure.
So I actually got into accounting.
Hey, do you mind moving a little closer to the camera?
Every business kind of
Just a little closer, can't see.
Is this better?
Oh, yeah,
Been in
that's
accounting
better.
for 3 years now. I've had a boatload of experience.
Well, now I kind of just see like the bottom of your chin.
Offered a lot of different.
Now I'm just kind of seeing the tippy top of your head.
perspectives in industry. So I feel like that would be a big value.
Hey, what's
for
going
this team. But with that, I was able to learn a lot of new things, a lot of new opportunities.
I guess we're going on a journey. So, Katie, how would you say you stay calm in stressful situations?
Great question. How I stay calm in stressful. One second.
So many pets. Oh, there she goes.
So one of my greatest strengths is actually multitasking.
Multitasking, great.
It allows me to have multiple projects going on at once.
Multitasking. Right. Multitasking is nice. You still there, Katie? Hello?
Yeah, so I've used Microsoft a lot of Excel, PowerPoint. Oh!
Hello.
Okay, so again, just some bloopers. So, again, really pay attention and focus on that. Again, for face-to-face interviews, obviously you're going to want to get ready, take a shower, shave, use deodorant. When you get nervous, your sweat smells a little bit different. It's more of that stinky sweat than just normal. And so you just want to make sure you're clean and ready to go. And perfume and cologne, definitely if you want to wear it, if that's how you get ready, that's great. Just be careful, don't put on too much. We were in an interview committee with around 8 people, and in a really small room, a pretty tight room with a table, and you could tell that the person that was doing the interview had just smoked outside and then sprayed herself with a bunch of body spray. And in that little room, it was just smelled really bad. So you can just see that Again, it's a distraction. Okay, instead of worrying about smell, we wanted to focus on her answers. So that can be tough. So just please, if you're going to wear perfume and cologne, just take it easy on that. Zoom obviously doesn't matter, but in real life, it matters for sure. Okay. For guys, again, really talk to your instructor on the protocol for that industry. But again, with Zoom, just make sure you have a nice shirt on. I know criminal justice, you guys might be wearing ties. The health programs, again, you guys are get pretty dressed up as well. Okay, so just, again, if it was face to face, no baggy pants. Really try hard not to wear jeans. If you don't have any dress pants, that's fine, of course. Just make sure your jeans are really, really nice, clean, and no holes. Okay, especially with healthcare, no visible piercings, or take those out for that interview for sure. Okay, you don't really want to wear your hiking boots or tennis shoes. Again, for Zoom, you probably can, but in face-to-face interviews, you would not do that. Women, little bit different too, just not like a prom dress. You just want to wear like a nice business casual. Okay, so skirt, blazer, just make sure everything's covered. A sensible shoe, you don't need to wear high heels. Again, jewelry, you can wear jewelry, but make sure it's just not too distracting. Okay, again, you just want to focus on you and what your interviewing skills, not focusing on something else that might be distracting. Okay, and I know those outfits look great, but just not for an interview. So that's kind of some tips and tricks for that day. Again, with Zoom, it'll be a little less stressful, I would think, because it's going to be on the computer. So you just, need to kind of look nice on the top. I will remind you guys, since I don't get to see you in person, one of the questions for sure will be back from when I met with you guys, or when we did one of the PWR session, is what is your greatest employability skill? Okay, or transferable skill, and please give an example. So you guys worked about that in your workbook. Okay, so if you need to go back to your workbook, you can do that. That was back on pages 3, 4, and 5. So make sure you have a really good story to tell about your skill. Okay, now number 2 hint, there's 5 questions total on this interview. And if you do check in early in the main office, you will get to look at the questions. But again, I just gave you one of them. The next one will be about this elevator pitch. Okay, so if you go to your workbook on pages 38, you'll learn a little bit more about the elevator pitch. You can do that pages 38 and 39. But this question will be pretty much on any professional interview you go to, is tell me about yourself, and please include your educational and employment background. Okay, so that question is basically your elevator pitch. The reason they call it an elevator pitch is, let's say you are in you're at a big company and you have an interview for an entry-level job, okay? And you get into the elevator and the owner of the company, let's say Peyton Manning's in the elevator with you, it's just you and him, and you're going to go up to the 12th floor. Are you the type of person that's just going to sit back and be like, wow, cool, Peyton Manning's standing right next to me? Are you going to be the person that says, hey, my name is Danae Coates, and I'm interviewing for an entry-level position with you. I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I just got out of 4 years of college, and I just traveled around Europe for a little bit. I do a lot of volunteer work, and I am just applied for an entry-level position at your company, and I'm really excited to work for you. Okay, are you going to be the person that does that? Okay, so that's kind of what you want to talk about. That's what your elevator pitch is. Okay, so here's some examples. You can bring up some transferable skills, your educational background, working, and what don't they know about you yet? It's not your life story. I was in an interview once, and this lady, all she talked about was her dog. She was so excited to work at Warren Tech North because she lived in Arvada, and she would be able to go home and walk her dog on the lunch break every day. Okay, and that's great, but that's not worthy of the interview. Okay, so keep focused on your professionalism, on your skills, your background. Okay, I know if you guys are going through some stuff in your life, I get that. If you can make it spin it to a good situation that you've overcome, that's great, and you can talk about that. but they don't need to hear every little thing about your life, just your top points. Okay, so really look at pages 38, 39 in your workbook so you can answer that question. Okay. A couple other questions. I'll give you just some hints just because I haven't been able to meet with you guys as much as I usually would have, is what would you consider your greatest accomplishment and why? So think about that one. Is it something sports related, work related, home related? But think about it to spin it for a professional interview. What is your future educational or career goal? And again, remember, you're going to get matched up with someone from your career pathway. So if you're in a program here at Warren Tech North and you've just been exploring, that's okay. You don't need to lie, but you can say, hey, I took medical assisting. I really wanted to go into the healthcare field. I realized that I really don't like blood. So I'm actually maybe going to think about working in coding. I still want to work at a hospital, but more on the back end, something like that. Okay. And then this one's always hard for high school kids, is tell me about a time when you had to handle a difficult person or situation and what were the results? Okay, and would you change anything? So whether something happened good or bad, think about that. And then how did you react to that? They're looking on how you would react to that. What would happen if you had a job with this company? Okay, so those are the questions, 5 questions. They're also going to take time to look at your resume if you have that done. And then they'll give you feedback. Okay, so it's just really, really good for you guys to get this, meet with someone. Some of these interviewers that we have are in the industry, and they may give you their contact information to maybe do an internship or a summer job or a real job. Okay. When they ask about, there's always going to be a question about what are your weaknesses. Okay. Please, or sometimes the end of an interview, they'll say, do you have anything you would like to share with us? Never, ever say, nope, I'm good. Or if they say, do you have any questions? Never say, nope, I'm good. You have to ask something, okay? So again, don't lie. And sometimes the question is, what is one of your weaknesses, okay? So as you're researching that job for that question, you can choose something that's not a big part of the job. So an example would be, I'm not good at speaking in front of large groups. Okay, hopefully the job wouldn't require that, right? You can kind of talk with that guy. I was talking about the organization, but make sure that your Zoom background isn't a messy closet, okay? Or you could talk about showing improvement. Being organized isn't my strong point, but I'm really working on it. I've implemented some systems and I'm doing a lot better with my organization. So you always spin it to something positive in interviews, okay? In this day and age, we used to have you guys write thank you letters to the interviewers. At this day and age, honestly, an email is completely fine. Just make sure there's no typos. Make sure you're not typing it like as if you're texting. Make sure you're typing correctly. And I've received emails while I'm on an interview. If I'm interviewing 6 people in a day, sometimes that first, second, and third candidate have already emailed me and thanked me while I'm still in the middle of the interview. So it's just a really nicety, gets them to think about you again, like, oh yeah, he did really good this morning, okay? So you can always follow up with an email. Thank you. You don't need to for these here at Warren Tech North, but in real life, always follow up with a thank you, okay? Okay, so questions, you guys can definitely just email me, Danae.coates@jeffcoschools.us. That's fine. But yes, we will have these mock interviews April 21st and 22nd, depending on your program. Ask your teachers if you have any questions, or you can come stop by my office, okay? Thanks so much.